everyone, welcome to At America. My name is James, one of the e-guides here in At America, and we welcome audience members joining us here with me and online. We hope that you're doing well and staying safe. At America is the United States Embassy's American Center, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. Today, we will be having Education USA Study Tips for IELTS Tests from the British Council Foundation, Part 3 out of 4. But before we begin, let's break the ice with a little game. I have here a fun fact for everyone. Education USA provides services to accredited post-secondary institutions in the United States. And now, without further ado, let me introduce everyone to our moderator for today. We have Kak Narita Singer, a marketing manager from the British Council Indonesia Foundation. Kak Narita, the stage is yours.
Hi everyone, good morning and thank you all for coming here. You're on the venue or online. My name is Narita and I'm the Marketing Manager Exams Southeast Asia 2 Cluster British Council Indonesia Foundation. I hope you will gain a good benefit of attending the session today. And if you happen to be somewhere around Pacific Place, let's come to the 3rd floor now and join us. Don't hesitate, okay? And now, let's not being for too long, let's start the session. I would like to invite our speaker, Miss Grace. Please, Grace, could you please come on stage?
Thank you, James. Thank you, At America team. Hello, everyone. I hope you've been having a lovely morning so far. Hopefully, yeah, breakfast, coffee. Make sure you are sitting somewhere nice, comfortably. Have a pen and pencil ready because today we're going to continue with part 3 of the 4 in series, Study Tips to Ace the IELTS Test with At America in collaboration with British Council Indonesia Foundation. Yeah. If you missed last week's session, I think we can do a quick review. Yeah, so this is part 3. Part 1 was about listening and reading. And part 2 last week, it was writing task 1. If you missed those 2 series, those 2 workshops, I can say workshops, head over to At America's YouTube channel. You can watch them there. Yeah. So, yeah, if this is your first time taking the IELTS test or attending this series, let me just tell you briefly about IELTS. Yeah, it's the International English Language Testing System. Of course, proudly co-owned by 3 institutions, and British Council is one of them. Yeah. Now, if you want to apply for a higher education, let's say, especially to the States, perhaps it's a good idea before you come here and then meet Santika or Christina here. Maybe it's a good idea to take the IELTS test. So you're ready with everything you need to apply to the university of your choosing. Yeah, I think Santika and Christina will agree with me on this. Yeah, all right. The more you are prepared, the more opportunities for you to get a position in the university that you want to apply for. Now, right. So as I mentioned earlier, there are 4 parts in this series, and there are 4 skills tested. Today, we're going to have a look at writing task 2. This is the most exciting part of the test, I would say. I guess with the problem, not the problem, yeah, with writing, it is only hard if you don't know how. Right? I guess this goes to everything you do. Yeah, if you don't know how to do it, then it will be challenging, okay? I think Indonesian students, I don't think we've ever had a proper, as in not proper, but an actual writing lesson, as in guiding you how to actually write. Therefore, it's important to know the best steps to actually write. Yeah, I think I remember when I was in grade 6, primary school, of course, teachers only ask me, my classmates, to write about our holiday. Yeah, so write about your holiday. I went to grandma's house. It's in the village. There are paddy fields, lots of cows or goats or whatnot. That was it. You submitted the essay and you never see it again. Right? No feedback of whatsoever. I think that's the best writing lesson I've ever had, at least. I hope you are more fortunate, as in your teachers actually gave you some feedback on your writing. Yeah. Not just in Indonesian, but also in English. Oh, sorry, not just in English. I hope especially in Indonesian, at least, yeah. Now, okay. So before I begin with the presentation, let's see how much you know about IELTS Writing Task 2. Okay. If you are here in Pacific Place, you can raise your hand to answer these questions. If you're joining through Zoom, we have Santika there. Maybe you can type it in the chat box. All right. Now try to participate as much as possible. It will be nice if this is more interactive, I guess. Yeah. So you can learn more as well. Now let's see if you can answer this question. Yeah. Question 1. Choose A, B, C, or D. Yeah. This is checking instructions as we did in part 1. Follow the instructions, A, B, C, or D. Not 1, 2, 3, 4. How many tasks are there? Yes. 3. Okay, did he follow instruction? No. C, yeah? No, it's actually B. Yes, very good. There are 2 tasks, yeah? It's okay, thank you though. Thank you. Number 2. Task 1? A? Yes, A task 1. Do you do task 1 first? Okay, it's all right to do task 1 first, but we will strongly recommend you to do task 2. Why? Very honest, yeah? Do I hear C? Yes? Very good, excellent job. Yeah, it weighs more marks. It only makes sense, you have more time to do it, and you have more words to write. It's only fair enough if you get more marks in this part. All right. Next question. I heard C? Yes, very good. Yeah, at least 250 words. All right. Okay, yeah, we've got some answers in the Zoom. Yeah, thank you, Santika. Next one. Do you have all day? C? I hear C? That's it. Yeah, 40 minutes. Well done. So task 2, 40 minutes. Task 1, 20 minutes. In total, you have 60 minutes. The invigilator, the one who observes you while you're doing the test, will not check or see whether you're doing task 1 first or task 2. Yeah. The point is you must do both tasks. Time management is very important. So task 2, do it first. Next question. This is also a review of last week's session. Does anybody know which is not a marking criterion in task 2? A. Very good. Yes, it is for task 1. Well done. And the last question. Also a review. Okay, we've got Veronica in Zoom saying B and C. Right, probably the previous question, yeah? Right, which is not an essay type. I have Putri Sukma there answering C. I hope it's for question 7, which is the correct answer. Yeah, describing a process is for task 1. Yeah, all right, very good, guys. Now, all right, IELTS is recognized in more than 11,000 institutions in more than 140 countries around the world, and the United States of America is one of them. Quite a lot of universities nowadays accept the IELTS score as one of the entry requirements. And this is the context is academic, so it's formal. When you sit the test, it's important to use only formal words. Yeah, leave those colloquial expressions at home. Yeah, only for the test day, focus in using formal academic words. Now, the 9-band scale is awarded as well as individual scores per subtest. We have also discussed this last week. There is no passing or failing mark. You only need to make sure that you have the score you need to apply to the university that you wish to apply for, basically. Make sure you check with the institutions how much you need. Most of the time for undergrad studies, they require 6.0 to 6.5. For postgrad or masters, 6.5 to 7, I think. And for PhD is 7.0 at least. But this also depends on the major that you're applying for, I guess. I think maybe you can consult this with the universities, or probably Santika knows. You can check with her as well when you consult about your CV. Yeah, we have a CV clinic or resume, I think. Yeah, all right. Next, let's move on to writing task 2. It is very important to know what is required from you in writing task 2. Therefore, we need to know how many different kinds of, therefore, it's important to understand the assessment criteria. This is still the best approach, yeah, on how to improve your skills. This is not just for IELTS. Academic writing is not just for IELTS. It's basically for any academic writing. Like writing task 1 is actually, you actually use it when you write reports to your professor, right? It tests your ability to describe a chart, how you summarize the diagram, the trend, describe a process, and so on. The first criterion is task response. You can ask yourself these questions. Have you done what IELTS requires you to do? Do you make comparisons? Do you present your position? It's important for you to present a clear position. Don't be neutral. I won't recommend you to do this because the examiner needs to know where you stand on a certain topic. Do you write enough words? Yeah. If you take the IOC, IELTS on Computer, there is a word count feature at the bottom. So you don't have to count the words one by one. You know how much you have written. The second criterion is coherence and cohesion. We've also discussed this last week. This is the flow of your writing. Do you have paragraphs? Are they logical? Do they make sense in terms of the flow? Yeah. There is introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion. Right? Don't jump around. Do you use enough cohesive devices or transition words or signposting words? They have different names, but basically similar. The next one is, of course, vocabulary. Do you use less common lexical items? Do you only repeat the keywords from the task? That affects your scoring. And lastly, last but not least, is, of course, grammatical range and accuracy. Do you use simple, compound, complex sentences? Are they accurate? Are they appropriate? Yeah. Suddenly in the middle of a sentence you read, I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna. Yeah, that's not appropriate. Right. So the final mark is the mean average of these 4 criteria. Let's see, we've got some writing myths. Are they true or false? Okay, if you're here, you can raise your hand. If you're in Zoom, you can type it in the chat box. This is quite common. I get a lot of questions like this from my students. True or false? Yeah, okay, false. Everybody here said false. Of course. Minimum number of words, 250. It doesn't mean that if you write 500 words, you will get a 9. Yeah? You just keep repeating A, B, C, A through Z. Yeah, do that all over. Yeah, spend, like if you write it on a piece, on paper-based test, 4 pages long, yeah, it doesn't affect your scoring. Second one. Jargons, political jargons. For example. True? Review last week. Last week we talked about this as well. Big words. Putri Sukma and Fariski says false. Is that for this one or the previous one? False. Jessica also says it's false. Yeah. The key is to be precise. You don't have to use jargons, cliches, metaphors. That is so difficult that the examiner has had to look it up to find the meaning probably. Yeah. Next one. False, yes. There can be many possibilities. Yeah. Do they check it one by one? Of course they do. Yeah. Examiners check all each essay one by one. Of course it's false. How about this? False. Memorized answers. I'll get a higher score. In some occasions, I do ask my students to read sample answers, the one with a high score, even the low one. But it doesn't mean that you should memorize them because the topic is different. Yeah. Will the examiners know if the answer is memorized? Of course. If they're irrelevant, obviously, yeah, it's memorized. What is your favorite sport? Football. How often do you play football? David Beckham. Where do you play football? Manchester United. But that was for speaking, but it was a sample of an obvious memorized answer. Yeah, they only know about football. Okay, I have David Beckham, football, David Beckham, and Manchester United. That's memorized answer. So all of these, the answers are false. Yeah, don't do this. Right? Now let's begin with the first criterion, which is the task response. Remember, you need to ask yourself these questions. Have you done what IELTS require you to do? Do you stick to the topic? Yeah. Last week, Santika and I discussed about sticking to the topic. Yeah. It's like when you're going to Bandung from Jakarta. So when you get to Cikampek, you went up to the north to Semarang. Yeah, and then going around and then back to Cipularang and then going back to Bandung. If you go back to Cikampek or Cipularang. But most of the times, quite a lot of candidates write off topic. Yeah. So it's like when you reach to a point and then develop that part, it's not actually the main topic. Okay. Let's see. So what kinds of tasks 2 are there? Basically, there are 2 types, comparative and descriptive. Yeah. Are they different? Absolutely different. Here's a sample of the most common question. With this question, you need to decide whether you agree or disagree first. Right? But you must discuss both positions. And then at the end, you decide on your position. Do you agree or disagree? I'll tell you more about it later. It's basically similar to the first one, If you think that there are more benefits, when you make the outline, it's better to present the opposite opinion first, which is the disadvantages. Well, the disadvantages are this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next paragraph, you talk all about the benefits, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the concluding paragraph, you can say, firmly say, I personally believe that the benefits, there are more benefits than the drawbacks. That's the writer's position. In this case, you will have higher score because it's easy to follow. We call this making concession, I think, in academic writing. So presenting the opposite opinion first before presenting your own. It is true, like when you're in a debate, yeah, rebuttal, I think it's called. So you address what your friend or the opponent said first. Yeah, it's true when you say this. However, I believe that it's B. Make sense? Right. Here's the third one. Similar to the previous one, discuss both sides and give a point of view. Some people think that there should be one language in the world, while others think this can threaten the loss of culture and identity. Right. Discuss both sides. If you think, yes, there should be only one language in the world, you will present the opposite opinion first, right? No, people should have, countries should have their own language. Yeah. And then in the next paragraph, you present your reasons why there should only be one language in the world. Okay. What if I think there shouldn't be one language in the world? We just split them. Yeah. Say why there shouldn't be just one language in the world, and then present the uniqueness of languages around the world. Yeah. And then finish strong in the concluding paragraph, saying that's why each country should have its own language. That's just an example. Yeah. Next one is, with this, quite a lot of students a bit confused. They are a bit confused. To what extent do you agree or disagree? What's the difference with this? Yeah. For this, it is better to choose a side. Yeah. This is like, do you agree or disagree? I disagree. How far? Perhaps there's some part of the topic that you agree or partially agree, but there is another part that you disagree. So you can say, I agree with A and B, however, C is not the best option since 1, 2, 3. Yeah. The safest way to do it will be just to completely agree or disagree. Why? It doesn't mean that it is impossible to extend it like that. Partially agree to something, 75-25, or maybe 60-40, right? Yeah, but it takes practice. It's not impossible, but it takes practice. Unless you're already a high-level writer, it should be fine. Yeah, people have different writing skills. So writing obviously needs a lot of practice. Here's the next one. If you're lucky enough, you might get 2-part questions. Yeah, cause and effect, problems and solutions. So in this case, you need to present and justify an opinion. Perhaps you need to compare. Yeah, and 2 options. Let's look at for example, the government of Jakarta has decided to build more tollways to solve Jakarta's traffic problem. Traffic has become increasingly, has become worse around the world. That's why the government of Jakarta city has decided to build more tollways to solve traffic problems. Question 1, why is this the case with the traffic? And what other measures should the government take to solve this problem? Yeah, so you need to address both questions. Say the reasons why traffic has become, has increased. Yeah, has becoming more of a problem. Yeah, it's increased around the world. And then what other measures? Other than tollways, what else can the government do? Right? Remember to look at it from the government's point of view because they're the ones who make regulations, not from your parents' point of view. Using less cars, yeah. The government can issue regulations about car ownership, yes, but to ask your parents not to use the car, that's irrelevant, yeah? All right. Now, how does this affect your scores? I'm not going into detail on this. I think you can get a free copy, download it from IELTSAsia.org or any other sources, but make sure it's the original one. So IELTSAsia.org is best. Now, in terms of addressing the task, if you aim for a band 7, yeah, here make sure that you address all parts of the task and present a clear position. Agree, disagree. Try not to be neutral. And make sure that you present, extend, and support your main ideas. Although, yeah, a little bit of some of the supporting ideas may lack focus. Yeah, so it's still okay. That is if you're aiming for a 7. Yeah. Now, the one with the 2 tasks, the 2 questions, if you only answer one of them, you can only get band 5. Or you only discuss the disadvantages while you have to discuss both views. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages, but you only discuss one of them, you can only get a 5. Although you have good main ideas and supporting ideas, but because you only address the task partially, you only get a 5. As I mentioned last week, the most important thing to do is to plan. It's always better to make an outline or to plan rather than writing it twice. You don't want to delete, go back, backspace, yeah, and then type again. Make sure you identify the key requirements, yeah, the topic and the task words. What do you need to do? And after that, brainstorm for ideas quickly. Planning, understanding the key requirements, planning, making the outline, that should take you maximum 5 minutes, maximum, right? Oh, I thought it's moved. Yes, that's what I was talking about. And after that, make sure you know where you stand. From your outline, after you brainstorm, select and organize main points. See which ones are irrelevant. Cross that out. Yeah. Quite a lot of people stop and think. When they see the question, they stop and think and then start looking at the ceiling. Environmental problems. Don't stop and think. Start to write. Write whatever you have in mind. Yeah. You can select this later on. With the IELTS on computer, you have the word count feature. Yeah, so you don't have to count the words one by one. Always spend some time. What's the cursor? It keeps moving. Okay. Spend some time to proofread and make corrections when necessary. Yeah. You'll never know how much this saves you or gives you higher score. Okay, I see some people from last week and 2 weeks ago. Thank you for coming back, guys. All right, now here's a sample question of one of the tasks that we saw earlier. This is the first one. Remember, the first thing to do is to Analyze the question. All right. Find the topic and the keywords. Sorry, the task words. Yeah. In this case, because it's only one sentence, obviously, this whole thing is the topic. Yeah. The cursor keeps moving. The task word. Yeah. So you need to choose a side. Agree or disagree? Let's look at another sample question. Let's practice. What is the topic? Yes. Yes. And then? Yes, thank you very much. Yes, okay. You can also underline the main keywords, which are? Yeah. Good.
The power of advertising and not the real need of the society in which they are sold.
Very good. Thank you so much. Yay. All right. And the task words?
To what extent do you agree or disagree?
Yes. Agree or disagree and how far? Thank you very much. Yes. All right. Okay. Good. Now here's the one with two tasks. What is the topic? Maybe someone from over here? Anybody wants to try? Give it a try. What's the topic? Oh, yeah. Here we go.
I think the topic is owning a home rather than renting one. Some countries owning a home rather than returning one is very important for people.
Yes, thank you. That's the main topic, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. You're from last week, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm from
thank you
last
for
week.
coming back. All right.
All right.
So, yeah, thank you. The main keywords: owning a home versus renting one. Yeah. So you can, I think we got scrap paper, yeah, still, yeah, to make notes, yeah. Right. So you can write down, well, I'm not left-handed, but what I normally do after I see a topic like this, I just write owning a home versus renting one. And then below that, and then after that, I will circle which one I agree with. Yeah. Positive or negative situation, right? Okay. Reasons, we can put it below that. Making lists, yeah, or bullet points, supporting each side. So why might this be the case? So that's the topic. This is the first question. You need to discuss why and whether it's a positive or negative situation. Yeah. Right. So here's another one. Quite a lot of sample questions. Discuss both views. Oh, sorry. Topic. Topic. Yes.
All right? International tourism has experienced massive growth in recent years. Some people think this has been beneficial for local areas. Others say it has had a negative effect on them.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, those are the topic. The main keywords.
International tourism has experienced massive growth, and some people think it's beneficial, and others say it has negative effects.
Yes, thank you very much. All right. You can also just underline international tourism or write it down, benefits for local areas and disadvantages. Basically, that's it. Yeah. Don't let other words confuse you. Okay. There's another sample that is very long. I'm going to show you. That's one of my favorite so far. Right. Now we are going to practice brainstorming for this one. Yeah. So to get a high task response score, you need to discuss both the positive and negative sides and then choose which side you lean towards. Oh, sorry. Too fast, too fast. Go back. Yeah. Right. So here's another way for you to make an outline. You can make a list, you can draw, you can make a table like this, whichever you like, whichever works for you. There is no, your outline won't be graded, so don't worry about that. Make sure that you understand what you're writing down, yeah? Now, remember that there are only two points are necessary, yeah, with the right amount of support for each point. So a common problem is that people choose ideas that overlap. So that's a common problem. This is a problem for lower level or mid-level writers because they, at the end, after this, they don't know how to expand the ideas because they look similar. How else can I expand this idea? Yeah, right. Now here, obviously there are, sorry. You can see here in the positive side, we have 4 points. When we say it's good for the local economy, I cannot lose the cursor. It stays there. Okay. Right. So the first point is good for the local economy. And then the second one, it creates jobs for locals. They're pretty much similar, yeah? Well, it's good for economy because they create jobs for locals. Then what else will you say? How will you extend this idea? Promotes intercultural understanding, yes, it still makes sense, and increases locals' foreign language skills for them to learn. That's a good one. Now, if we look at the negative side, increase in crime and bad for the environment. Yeah? Similar? Why is it bad for the environment? Because the increase in crime. And then you talk about pollution, yeah. But then the first part, this is quite similar. So here, again, only 2 are necessary, yeah. Okay. The points chosen here are quite similar. Now, if you have practiced a lot, high level writer, this won't be a problem. But if you, for those who still need a lot of practice, okay, as I mentioned earlier, you can run the risk of repetition. You keep repeating basically the same ideas. Yeah. Now here is an example of 2 very different points. Yeah. So this is a no-no, yeah. So here's an example of 2 very different points here. They won't be confusing of overlapping. Okay, remember you only need 2 points with the right amount of support. Okay, when writing the essay, you won't get confused or these won't overlap, and also will reduce the chance of error when you're writing at speed. Okay, so you don't repeat the ideas. Okay, then you've got the outline. It's time to write. Okay. How can we begin our essay? Quite a lot of students ask that. Yeah. I know this should be introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion. What do you need to put in the introductory paragraph? Basically, you only need to write 3 sentences. Really? 1 paragraph, 2 sentences, 3 sentences? Yeah. The first sentence should be a general statement. Rephrase the topic using your own words. Remember, if you copy the words, the keywords from the task, those words won't be counted. Yeah, if you remember from last week, if you copy the whole sentence, let's say you have 29 words, bye-bye 29 words. Yeah. And if you write a total of 258 words, minus 28 words. It's under length, yeah? So be careful with that. So here's I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna show you a sample of introduction. So here's the question. Yeah. Basically here, the topic is learning at school versus learning at home. Yes? Right. Sorry, learning at home versus learning at school. Basically, that's the topic from these long sentences, right? Now, what you need to do is to discuss the advantages only of both methods, yeah? Don't try to put more burden on yourself by writing the disadvantages of both, yeah? That's a waste of time and you don't get more marks because obviously you don't meet the requirements. The task doesn't ask you to write about the drawbacks, only the benefits. So here's a sample introduction to this. Let's see how it is rephrased. Some people believe that teaching children at home is best for a child's development, while others think that it is important for children to go to school. It is rephrased into the argument over whether learning at home or at school is better for children has been settled yet by the writer, obviously, yeah. Where home education offers better protection with individual learning and opportunities for families to bond, schools have a superior range of material and human resources. The last sentence is the writer's position. So without saying I agree with this part, we can tell, yeah, the readers know which side the writer leans toward. So this is also making concession that I mentioned earlier, where home education offers, that's the opposite. Yeah, that's the opposite position. Yeah, schools, the second half of the sentence is the one that the writer supports. Yeah, this is a high level writer. So without saying I agree or I disagree, I support the second one. Yeah, without literally saying that, we know where the writer stands. Right? If you have questions, make notes. Yeah, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. Right. Here's another one. Anybody wants to answer, agree or disagree, personally? Personally speaking, do you agree or disagree? You might get a goodie bag. Yes, over there.
I disagree with the topic
Can you give me some reasons why? Two?
because I like diversity.
Because you like the first.
Diversity.
Oh, diversity. Okay, I thought you liked the first. Sorry.
And also the other benefit of having language, we see the world in different point of view.
All right, thank you. Sorry, what's your name?
Zul.
Thank you, Zul. Yay. Okay, disagree. Anyone agrees? Do you agree? No. Anybody agrees? No. Okay. Here's a sample introduction. Can you tell the writer's position? Yes? Very good. Yes, just like what Zul said, yeah? Okay. As the world becomes more interconnected, that's the general statement or the main idea. It is important to examine the concept of a universal language. Okay. What if the world's language is Sundanese or Batak? Ding, ding. Right. There are benefits in terms of travel and business. Again, this is the opposite. Yeah? The opposite idea. But a common language threatens the loss of culture and identity. Exactly like what Zul said. Yeah. We've never met, right, Zul? Yes. Okay. Just to make sure that I didn't copy his answer. Yeah? All right. So here's another sample of an introduction. I guess with practice, it will become easier. Because you know how, yeah? So again, the first sentence should be a statement of the topic, okay? The second sentence usually consists of what the writer's position, and ends the introductory paragraph with what the reader is going to read next, yeah? So we call that organization of the essay. So in this case, we can see that the next paragraph will talk about, remember the opposite opinion first, the benefits in terms of travel and business, right? And after that, the following paragraph, the writer, or we are going to read about how a common language threatens the loss of culture and identity. And after that, finish with a conclusion that restates the writer's position. Yeah? Make sense? All right. Very good. Again, if you have questions, write them down. Yeah, we'll have a look at that later. Now, basically, some tips to remember. Yeah? Especially if you're not familiar with the topic, make sure that you write what is easy to discuss. This is a language test, not to see whether you're a good person or not. Yeah, so it is always okay to go to the other side. There was a past question. Yeah, there was a past paper. It should be made compulsory for parents to immunize their children. Failure to do so will result in strict punishment. Yeah, so that's one example. Perhaps personally you think, yes, children need vaccines. They need immunization. But I'm still single. I'm not married. I don't have children yet. What vaccine should children get? Right? Well, whether you like it or not, it's always easier to find negative things or everything. Yeah? Right? I think it's just common. Well, not to recommend you to do so, but when you think of vaccines, do we produce vaccines in Indonesia? No, unless you know Bio Farma, not promoting, but just to say anyway. So, well, if we don't produce it, then it's got to be imported. If it's imported, it's got to be expensive. Yes? Can all parents afford expensive vaccines? That's one point, one reason. The second point, if it's imported, then Vaccines only go to big cities, yeah? How about people in Papua, in Kalimantan, rural areas? So it's about access to vaccines. Might be challenging. So you've got 2 points to support your position. Yeah, all right. Make sure we can tell where you stand. Yeah, you think there's more benefits, more disadvantages, positive or negative development. And lastly, if you really have to be neutral, make sure there's a side that you lean more towards. Yeah. Then I would strongly recommend you to choose a side. Yeah, choose a side just for the sake of the test. Choose a side. It will make your essay stronger. Yeah. Right. Now let's have a look at coherence and cohesion. As we discussed last week, yeah, coherence and cohesion is about the flow of your writing. Yeah. How easy it is to follow your ideas, and then is it logically sequenced? Was it easy to follow? And cohesion, again, cohesive devices or signposting words or transition words. Firstly, secondly, finally. Yeah. Don't put finally in the first paragraph, yes? You haven't even started yet and you want to finish it. All right. Okay. Also remember to substitute and make references whenever possible. All right. Now I have a sample of how to structure a paragraph. Okay. A good paragraph must have at least 3 sentences, similar to the introduction, yeah? The first sentence should always be the topic sentence or a thesis statement. Same abbreviation, but this is the main reason as to why you choose agree or disagree, or why you choose that position. The first reason is da 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 da. You support this with the why and how, which is the supporting sentence. The how and why, I call it. You want to make it stronger? Add some more details and examples or examples in developing sentence. So topic sentence is the first point. Supporting sentence is the how or why. Developing sentence is the example or details. We're going to look at some sample paragraphs after this. So heads up, long texts coming up. Now I'm going to show you 2 paragraphs, yeah, and then skim read, also review of part 1, yeah, skimming in the reading part. Skim each paragraph and tell me which one is better and why. Not because one is longer than the other, okay? But tell me, yeah, give me a very good reason why. Here's the first paragraph. Ready? Here comes the second paragraph. I know it's very long. Anybody wants to tell me which one is better and why? Okay. You have that? Can I just give it to him first? Yes? All right. Yes. What's your name?
Hello,
Hi. What's
my
your
name
name?
is Joshua.
Joshua. Thank you, Joshua. Can you tell me which one is better and why?
I choose paragraph 2 for the better one.
Because?
It's more structural and the main idea is quite clear. There are several reasons. First, second, and third.
Yes.
And that's why I choose the paragraph 2 for the better one.
Thank you very much, Joshua. That's it. Yeah? Okay. It's very easy to follow. Yeah? The main reason is stated in the first sentence, and then there's cohesive devices. Firstly, secondly, a third. Yeah. If you compare it with this first one, let's go back a bit. Overseas students come to Australia to study further. They may come simply because Australia is close and safe. Yeah. Simple sentences. And then it jumps around, go back from here, go back there. Yeah? Okay. Right. Although there's because of this, repetitions of, what do you read often? Overseas students, overseas students. Yeah, right. If you read the same keywords more than twice in one paragraph, it is a repetition. Yeah, you don't want to give Santika a headache reading your. He's just nodding. Yeah, all right, let's go back to this one. Yes, why is it better? Right. So the first sentence is supposed to be read in red. Yeah, I think it's a bit too bright. So there are several reasons why overseas students come to Australia to do further study. That's the topic sentence. The supporting sentences are the ones in purple. Firstly, their parents want them to study in English-speaking country. Secondly, entrance examinations are very competitive. Difficulty gaining entry. Third reason, range of courses. So when you write the outline, you don't have to write full sentences, just notes, keywords. Then you expand that. Yeah. So maybe just one first reason, parents ask them. Second reason, in entrance examinations. Third reason, range of courses. That's it. If you have a good plan, it's easy to develop that. And then make these stronger by adding details or examples. The first one is this detail. So the ones in green. It looks a bit gray. Australia is a popular choice since it is very close to Southeast Asia and is generally considered a safe place and so on. Detail or example? Detail, yes. Next one, when faced with such difficulties, students choose to study in Australia where the entry criteria are the same for all unis. Details or examples? Still details. And the last one, many overseas students may not be available in their home countries. Detail. Last one, I'm not going to ask. Obviously, this is an example, yeah? All right. Okay, clear enough? Yay. All right. Don't memorize this paragraph. Now, here's an example of a general outline, yeah, paragraph structure. So, as I mentioned earlier, that there should be at least 4 paragraphs. Why 3 is not a good idea? First reason, you might not write enough words. Secondly, your reasoning or your argument is not strong enough. Okay? If it's only introduction, 1 body paragraph, and conclusion. Or even worse, if you only have 1 paragraph essay. Yeah? Everything is there in 1 paragraph. but 500 words. Can you imagine reading a 500-word essay? One paragraph essay, yeah? Right. Here's a sample of the comparative one. So if you lean towards more benefits, you can present all the disadvantages first. And then in the next paragraph, you talk all about the benefits. And after that, finish strong with a good conclusion. So what's in the concluding paragraph? Basically, summarize all the TS, the topic sentences, summarize it. First sentence, in summary, in conclusion, to sum up, all in all, comma, restate the TS. The second sentence is the writer's position. You can make it stronger by adding a closing statement in the last sentence. So 3 sentences. That should be fine. Okay. Right. So if you are able to organize information logically using a good range of cohesive devices, you can get a 7. If there is an attempt to have some organization, yeah, inadequate, inaccurate, or overuse of cohesive devices. Remember last week we talked about baso? Not the food, but and so or, but and so or. Then you repeat this all the time at the beginning of a sentence, yeah, at the beginning of your sentences. Full stop. And, but, yeah, okay. Yeah, try reading an essay like that. About 80 scripts a day. Right, so you can only get a 5 if you only have 1 paragraph essay. Yeah, the same as writing task 1. Yeah, lack of overall progression. That is, if you begin or if you combine 2 topic sentences in 1 paragraph. Yeah, a topic sentence is basically what the paragraph is about. So you can't really mix 2. You can actually mix or merge, combine 2 ideas within the same paragraph. The baso, yeah. It makes it repetitive, yeah. Again, if you read, make sure you spend some time to proofread your essay. If you keep, for me, I usually read out loud while practicing, not during the test, yeah. When you practice, you can try to read your essay out loud, because sometimes when you see, I just read students, and then I read students again, and I read students again. So that's a repetition. Yeah, it makes you conscious of the keywords that you keep using. Other than using students, you can say, how can you rephrase students? Yes. Pupils, yes. If they're into that range, yeah, up to primary, elementary, yes. Young learners. We'll talk about vocabulary later, yeah. All right. So I'm not going into details on this. You can download a copy again, as I mentioned last week. Highlight all the criteria within the part of the band score that you wish to gain. Moving on to vocabulary. So basically similar to last week's in task 1. Yeah, last week we talked about being precise. So range of words here is about the variety, okay? The use of synonyms, not cliches or metaphors. Try to rephrase as much as possible. Lexical change. What is lexical change? Look it up. All right. And the next one is accuracy. Yeah. So of course, accuracy is the word formation. Yeah, is it the right form of noun, adjectives, adverbs? Remember, adjective only modifies nouns. So you can use adjectives to modify verbs. I'm not going into detail in this. You had 12 years of studying English at school. Right, noun phrases, collocations, word formation, and spelling. Appropriacy here deals with the choice of words for the context. Yeah. Okay. Is it relevant in that context? Using a wide range affect your band score, of course. Yeah. And then how does it affect understanding of the reader? Now here's just a quick look. If you want to get a 7, make sure you show your ability to use a range of vocabulary with some flexibility and precision. Okay. Occasional errors in word choice is fine. I guess the most common one is when someone says, I use a jacket instead of wear. Yeah. Well, you can use a jacket to hit someone, yes. But in that context, yeah, you put on your jacket or you wear your jacket. Okay. You don't use your jacket unless you use it to do something else. Yes. Okay. Right. So that's just an example. So we're going to practice a bit of brainstorming for ideas on how to rephrase the keywords with this question. All right, let's review. Give me the topic of this long task. Any taker? Maybe from this side? What's the topic? Yes. No taker from this side? Okay, I'll give it to her again. Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Lintang.
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 Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's go, Lintang.
I think for the topic, first car appeared, and then first car appeared on British roads in 1888, and then in 2015, there are many as 35 million vehicles on British roads. Alternative forms of transport should be encouraged. International laws introduced to control car ownership and use. I think that is for the topic.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's the part of the topic, yeah? Okay. If you need to underline the keywords, the ones that you need to focus, which one will you underline?
I think the sentence that I will underline is the first sentence. The first car appeared on British roads in 1888. That's it.
Okay. And from sentence 2?
And the from sentence 2, alternative forms of transport should be encouraged and international laws introduced. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that.
Are you sure?
I'm not so sure, but for the final answer, I think is alternative forms of transport should be encouraged.
All right. Thank you very much, Lintang.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to try? What keywords would you underline? Yes.
Maybe for me, I will underline about 35 million vehicles. So since 1888 to 2015, the British has, in the 2015, the British has 35 million vehicles in the roads. So maybe the government of the British should encourage about the international laws to control the car ownership, because the 35 million vehicles is too much for the British roads.
Okay, sorry, what's your name?
Iqbal.
Thank you, Iqbal. All right. Okay. All right. let's analyze the key requirements, yeah? Okay, this is a good practice, guys. Right, sometimes not sometimes, most of the times, the task will give you background ideas, yes? But in this case, do you know anything about British roads in 1888? Why 35 million vehicle owners buy cars? Do you know why they bought cars? Okay. Back to the first tip. Write what is easy to discuss. Yeah. So from the first sentence, what do you need to focus on? Yes? Yeah. Ownership of cars. Yes, that's it. From this long sentence, you need to focus on the car. Yes? Right? Okay. Don't make it more difficult on yourself. Okay. Analyze the sentence. Analyze the key requirements. So from this first sentence, it's basically the background. Yeah. Okay. But what you need to focus is only the car, because you have no idea what happened in 1888, right? Yeah. British roads. Yes. It's just a background thing. And also, if you find, for example, let's say the task talks about social media, for example, Facebook, Instagram, it doesn't mean you only need to discuss Facebook and Instagram. It's only an example. Okay. Or technology devices, with the technology development, such as mobile phones, tablets, computers, it doesn't mean you only need to discuss smartphones, tablets, and computers. They're only an example. Okay? Right. So, yeah? Get it? So from this long sentence, analyze what is the main topic. In this case, it is the car. From the second sentence, it's the so you need to discuss the alternative transport, yeah, whether it should be encouraged or not, and to control using international laws. Agree or disagree. Okay, so these are the keywords, the key requirements, what you need to focus on. Don't talk about British roads in 88 and then say something, the roads less path traveled. That's a song, Mbak, ya? No. Right, off topic, see? Yeah, off topic. All right, now let's see how you can rephrase these words, right? Now, okay, I hope you can see the ones in red, yeah? So the first one is car, car. I'm gonna show you one example. You can rephrase it to vehicle. Any other ideas? How can you rephrase car? Yes, Zul.
Automobile.
Thank you. Do we have automobile here? Oh, it's motor. Sorry. That's a good example. Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else? Don't be afraid. Here's a sample of a word map. Yeah, guys, I'm going to show you some tips later on how to build your vocabulary, but this is like a word map. This is Zul's answer. All right. Next one up, alternative. Any taker? Anybody wants to try alternative? Practice, practice, widening your vocabulary. Building up your vocab is something you should do every day. The thing with language, if you don't use it often, you tend to forget. Yeah? Yes.
Other?
Other. Good. Yes. Do we have other here? Yay. Thank you. Next one up is, yes, Lintang. Possible. 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 It's possible. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have it? Different. All right. Yes.
I think choice.
Choice. Alternative. Choice. Yes. Still relevant. Do we have that? Got substitute. But we also have optional. Yes. All right. Thank you, guys. Now, transport. There's not much. You can say or. Yeah. But it changed form. Yeah. Encouraged. I'm trying to encourage you to answer. Any idea? Yeah? Empower, support, benefit, motivate. Okay. Anyone else? Let's see if we've got those here. Encourage, promoted, less common lexical item, pushed. Yes. All right. International laws. Laws. Yeah. Agreement. Agreement. I think it's slightly different. Agreement and laws. Regulations. Yes, good. Yes. Sorry? Policies. Yes. Agree. Policies. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we've got that here. Or policies. Yeah. Regulations. Less common. Okay. Last one, control. Control. Regulate. Very good. I got that. Okay. Do you read minds? Okay. Yes. Influence. Limit. Yes. Limit. I think it's closer. Yeah. Do we have limit here? Yeah. Regulate. Managed. Sorry, manage. You can also say restrict. Yeah. It's a verb. Yeah. And limit. Yes. Well done. Right. So it's a sample of word map. Okay. I'm sure there are lots of free practice tests on the web, on the internet, right? I think we've got Inroad to IELTS.com. Yeah, it's free. You can download the practice tests. Do it like this. Yeah, from the question, underline the keywords, identify key requirements, rephrase the keywords. Yeah? All right. Make sure you do this on a regular basis, especially 2 weeks before your test day. Yeah, 2 weeks as in intensive. Yeah, every day, not every other day. Okay. Okay, the cursor keeps moving, guys. I need to make it go away. All right. If you have questions on this, make notes. Yeah, we'll talk about them later. No, it wants to stay then. All right, it's okay. All right, now here comes the sample of how you can practice widening your vocabulary. Yeah, you can make a list like this. Topic related words or phrases. Yeah, movies is just an example. You can change this to, let's say, most recent ones about environmental issues, environment, technology, yeah, travel. So you can change movies to any topics that you wish to, I don't know, work on that day. So think about the terms that you use for, let's say, people, places or objects, and some terms. Yeah, think of not just word level, but also phrase level. Okay, so words and phrases. Yeah. Think also about collocations. What is collocation? We'll have a look at the sample answer later. Now, other ways to build vocabulary, as I mentioned earlier, you can make lists. Yeah. You can also label. Maybe when you see a picture or, I don't know, the easiest one, family photo, label, grandpa, grandma, grandfather, grandmother, maybe. Think of other ways. Elderly, senior citizen, yeah, children, young ones. Yeah, one ones pronouns. You can also use that to reference or to substitute. Picture of a car. Do you say at the back of the car, in the back, or in the rear? Yes. The back, the rear, behind. Yeah, right. Sometimes, like I said, you've heard the word, you've used the word before, or the words, but you don't use them regularly. You tend to forget. Okay. I did this activity with, well, it's a warm-up activity. I asked my students to label their partner's body parts. What do you call this? Homework. It's easy with the ones that you see often, yeah, like face, right, eyebrows and stuff or whatnot. But when you come to other body parts, like what's the difference between arms and hands? I got that question. Isn't it different? Aren't they the same? Arms and hands. We have upper arms, lower arms. Yes? Okay. So labeling is also a good idea. Next one up is the one we did earlier, yeah, with the word map or topic maps and collocations and chunks. I think if you've studied somewhere in a let's say a language course, if they give you a course book at the back of the book, we don't say the rear of the book, at the back of the book, it's a different context. Anyway, they have usually a word page, yeah, collocations and chunks, like a dictionary, yeah, at the back of the page, something like that. Or you can look it up on the internet. Now we've come to the last part of the marking criterion, which is the most exciting part of this. Now, grammatical range and accuracy. I'm not going to discuss this in details, but basically I just want to remind you that make sure you show off your ability to use different kinds of sentence structure. Remember, don't use just simple sentences. We've got compound sentences and complex sentences. Revise, review, noun clauses, adverb clauses, adjective clauses. Yeah. For example, the man is my father. Simple sentence. The man who is standing there is my father. What's that? Adjective clause, giving information about the man. Yes? Okay, good. The man standing there talking to a woman wearing a red dress is my father. Okay, review that. But the main sentence itself is the man is my father. You can present it in different ways using noun clauses, adjective clauses, yeah, gerund phrase. Ooh, review that. All right. Now, next one up is make sure that you can use them accurately. Subject verb agreement, yeah, plural. Singular, plural nouns, countable, uncountable nouns. How you remove the agent or making passive voices. Present perfect, yeah, time-wise. How do the errors affect the reader's understanding? Yeah. If you at the end of your writing, when you read your essay again, if you get a headache, then you know. All right. Okay. Punctuation is also important. Yeah. Full stop, capital letters, apostrophe, semicolon. Yeah. Double quotation marks and others. Hyphen. Right. All right. Again, if you aim for a band 7, this is something that, these are the things that you should do. Okay. A few errors is still fine. Yeah. Again, with the impact of errors, you can still get a 7. Right. If you only use simple sentences, don't expect more than band 5. Yeah. Okay. Attempts complex sentences, but tends to be less accurate. Frequent, that's the keyword, frequent grammatical errors. Punctuation faulty. Errors cause some difficulty for the reader. Yes. Like if you come over here and then you want to consult your CV or resume and then you're looking at Santika and she has this look on you after reading your application, you know that's the how it impacts the reader. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, long text is coming up, but I want to show you some samples along with some examiners' comments as to why these scripts got those bands. Here's the first one. Remember, buying a house versus renting one. Why? And positive or negative? I know it's very tiny and it's very long. But some things that I just want to point out is that here the examiner thinks that the candidate clearly explains why home ownership might be of importance as he or she restated it in the first paragraph. He or she explores the positive and negative sides of owning your own home before putting forward his or her position. Yeah. So here you can see in the second paragraph, why is that the case? It might be different for some, but for these people, it matters. Yeah. You might wonder. Well, I wouldn't recommend it to begin with this. This is not very academic. Yeah, but this is, again, this is only a sample. I think it is because your home is supposed to be exactly what it sounds like, your home. As a human, should be a comma there. I think we long after having stuff, don't use stuff. It's informal to call our own. Doesn't, don't use apostrophe, contractions. It doesn't matter what it is, humans will always want to claim ownership. So this whole thing is about buying a home or renting a home? Buying. How about the next paragraph? Buying or renting? If you as a person are renting an apartment, there might be a lot of stressors in your life. A scratched wall can cause you a major headache. Buying or renting? Renting. Next paragraph. Not owning your home could be a relief when it comes to your finance. You won't have to pay mortgage, take loans, or spend an awful lot of money on buying the property. Buying or renting? Renting. Bottom line, that's the conclusion. As a human, I feel like we need to have a home, and calling it your own can make that more special. I personally would rather own my house because then whatever happens, it is on me and no one else. Yeah? We can tell the writer's position. Yeah? It doesn't give you a headache. Yeah? Right. So the task is well addressed and ideas are well explored. Organization is clear with good use of cohesive devices. Here, paragraphing and message are easy to follow. The range of vocab is appropriate with examples of less common lexical items. Yeah, I highlighted them, some of them here. So the first one was that, long after, claim ownership, house market. It's a bit it's not right, but it's supposed to be housing market, yeah. And then good use of collocations, like claim ownership, that one, yeah, that's collocation. Major headache. Why is it not all? Sorry, a major headache, pay mortgage, natural disaster. Okay. There is a variety of sentence structure there, okay, and with a high level of accuracy with some minor errors in punctuation. As you can see there, bottom line is we don't really use that at the beginning yet. Okay, so in conclusion is better or to sum up. And then their owners, this one is supposed to be with an apostrophe there. Owner, just to show possession, right? This is a band 7. Right. The next one, yeah? Just a quick look on this. I know it's very, very long and very tiny. Sorry about that. But then, yeah. This is a sample of a very good answer. The way in which the candidate has responded to the task is a strong point of this script. It's a well-developed answer that addressed the issues relevantly and at length. Okay. The writer introduces the topic and then examines both sides. Yeah, so you can tell from here that's the first one. And then on the other hand, supposedly. Okay, so both sides. Okay, in addition is to add that. It will be better if the writer could split this paragraph there. Although on television screen, product may look gorgeous and good quality. Furthermore, yeah, so this might be the second point. It could be in a different paragraph. So make sure that you have a balanced argument. That is, if you have 2 points to support the other side, you also have 2 points to support your side. Not just because you support side B, let's say, you have 5 points and you have 1 point to support the other side. It's not balanced. Balance as in balance number of points, not the content. If it's balanced in the content, then it's neutral then. Yeah. So make sure you have a balanced argument as in the number of points. Okay. So this one, a very good answer is a band 7.5. It probably is about 8877. Yeah. So 8 task response, 8 coherence and cohesion because it's easy to follow. And then 7 in grammar, 7 in lexical resource. You can see here the limited amount of disposable income consumers are able to spend. Yeah. Okay. Customers have their own strong opinions, own decisions, buy goods, swayed. Yeah. So that's less common lexical items. Not enough ability. Yeah. Right. Find good samples of essays with good pen scores on the internet. Make sure you get them from reliable sources. Go to Cambridge or IELTS websites, okay? And then practice makes perfect, of course. Yeah. Never grow old. It never grows old. It's true. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating in answering the questions. That is the end. Oh, sorry, not yet. Last two tips. She's laughing. Right. Remember to think and plan. Okay. Comparative or descriptive or both tasks. Yeah. Always plan and organize your ideas. And then make sure you have enough paragraphs. Don't copy the task words or the keywords. Yeah. Don't use contractions. Yeah, no short forms, abbreviations. Yeah. Don't put IMHO. In my humble opinion, when you shorten it. Yeah. Don't do that, please, please, please. Right? And FYI, yeah, don't do that. Okay. And then don't change, don't digress. Formal and academic. Okay. Avoid using stuff, kids, and so on for the writing part and the speaking. TSSSDS, remember, one paragraph must have at least these 3 sentences. And always spend some time to proofread. Now, that is the end of my presentation. Thank you, guys. If you have questions, feel free to. But now I'm giving it back to Mbak Narita.
Thank you, Grace. So I think the first one is to collect some questions from everyone here. Oh, the gentleman.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Hasfi, and my question is, I have 2 questions actually. Number 1, you mentioned earlier that a sentence at least should have 3 sentences. A paragraph at least should have 3 sentences, right? And do you think, is there any paragraph that is too long? No, maybe, yeah. That's my number 1. And number 2 is, do you recommend using phrasal verbs in academic writing or IELTS task 2? And that's all. Thank you very much.
Do you want to answer the question?
No, you go first. The first one is about paragraphs being too long.
Yes.
If it consists more than 3 sentences, I think, yeah. So what will happen?
Okay. Right. So as I mentioned, it's at least 3 paragraphs. Yeah. But then 50 sentences is too much. Yeah. It's possible to have 4. Like when we looked at the the paragraph structure, you must have a topic sentence. That's your main answer. And after that, support this with a reason as to why or how, right? And then you can make this stronger by adding a detail or example. Like a tourism, yeah, an example, tourism. Yeah, Australian universities, or let's say American universities, offer a range of courses which are not available in my home country. Tourism is one example, let's say. Or for medical doctors, I think quite a lot of medical doctors, well, at least the ones that I know, they want to take fellowship program, but then it's in Canada or John Hopkins, I guess. One of the available courses is this and this, and then that's an example and detail. Yeah. like the good paragraph, paragraph 2, remember that there are several reasons why students go to Australia to continue their study. First reason, and then the S, yeah. Second reason, and then developing sentence. The third reason, developing sentence. So that's about 2, 4, 6, 7 sentences. That's fine. That's completely fine, yeah. But then I don't recommend to write, I guess, like 200 words alone in one paragraph. That's a bit too much, yeah. Just make sure that the paragraph focused on answering the question. It sticks to the topic, I think. I hope that answers the question. So planning, yeah, make the outline first. If it's irrelevant, cross it out, okay? Think of how you can organize. Can you actually merge or combine these 2 points, for example? And the second question was
Using phrasal verbs.
oh, using phrasal verbs.
Yeah.
Phrasal verbs. Can you give me some examples of phrasal verbs? Oh, okay. Oh, those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, put on,
Like
take
that.
after. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Why not? Yes.
Oh, because I read in some articles that we shouldn't use phrasal verbs in academic writing. I just wanted to clarify it.
Right. I guess it goes back to appropriacy, yeah, and accuracy. If the phrasal verbs are appropriate with the context, why not? Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. You don't really say. Can we say the government takes after its citizens? Can we say that? Looks after its citizens?
I think no.
Not sure. So that's your homework. Go back and then review that. My point is, my answer will be, it is okay, it is acceptable as long as they are appropriate within the context, right? You can also use some idioms, although not too much, as long as they are appropriate. You don't say it is the government's cup of tea to make regulations, obviously, yeah. But you can say crocheting or knitting is my cup of tea. You can say that, right? My parents look after me or takes after me. I take after my father, for example. Yes, in that context, it's appropriate. But again, back to the context and the appropriacy, I guess. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So anyone else having a question regarding writing task 2?
The most exciting part.
Ah, the lady over there with the pink.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Dila. I would like to ask related to how to build strong conclusion. Is it okay to do repetition, like using the similar sentences from the previous paragraph? Thank you.
Building strong conclusion.
Conclusion,
All
that's
right.
right.
Yeah. I haven't put a sample of conclusion, yeah? I think I did.
Not yet.
Right.
But you can do it now.
No. I guess with the conclusion, similar to the other paragraphs, 3 sentences is already enough, right? The first thing is, remember to begin your concluding paragraph with phrases or cohesive devices to introduce a conclusion. That is to sum up, all in all, yeah, and so on. And then continue with the restatement of the previous paragraph's topic sentences, yeah. I won't recommend you to repeat what you've mentioned right before the concluding paragraph. Because like I think I've just read this in the previous paragraph and I read it again in the concluding paragraph. It's not actually a good idea because it's a repetition again. What you could do is, for example, in the the second paragraph or body paragraph 1, you talk all about the drawbacks, yeah, all the disadvantages, right? So you put that into details. And then after that, you talk all about the benefits, put into details, yeah. Then in the concluding paragraph, first sentence, you can just say, in conclusion, the benefits, yeah, it can be seen that the benefits, yeah, are greater than the drawbacks. So without saying all the details, the points from the body paragraph, you summarize that into just drawbacks and benefits, or advantages and disadvantages. For every plus, there's a minus. You can say that, right? There are many ways to do this. Of course, it takes practice. So that's the first sentence. And after that, if you apply the making concession technique, yeah, which is addressing the opposite opinion first before presenting your own, it is already strong enough to show the writer's position. But if you want to make it stronger, you can state that in the second sentence, saying that although a lot of people believe that studying overseas is a good idea, others think it's best to study in your own country, as an example, without saying that I agree with the second statement, yeah, or with the latter. Then if you want to make it stronger, add a closing statement at the end. Hence, the country will grow even bigger, something like that. Something to make it stronger at the end. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Of course, it needs practice. I know. All right.
Yeah.
And
Sorry. Thank you. Yeah. So it comes with a similar question as well from Gabriel, which from the Zoom, yeah, which asks, should we make a conclusion paragraph in terms of which idea we stands for at the end of the essay? So basically, for the conclusion, we need to go back to the topic to address what your answers are and make a clear point of where your position is. Okay, I hope Gabriel's can get the same answer as well. Okay, so if there's anyone from here who would like to raise a question, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Zul again. When writing the essay, I usually concerns with the number of words that I write. So I usually think if this sentence is necessary or not. So my questions would be like related with the several questions that you display on the slideshow. I see some examples, or one example to be precise, using its. So it apostrophe and s. In your opinion, which one is good? It's with apostrophe or it is? Or is it okay to use both? That's the first question. Second questions, I also see one sentence which got band 7. It start the sentence with questions. So it is written, why is that the case? You might wonder. In my opinion, it's unnecessary, but do you think it necessary to write the questions like that? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Zul. So the first one is about writing it and it is, correct? And the second one is about beginning a paragraph with a question.
Yes, that's
Is
correct.
it recommended or not?
yeah, thank you, Zul. Contractions are not acceptable in academic writing. So short forms are not acceptable. That's why this only got a band 7. If all the grammar parts are correct, it would get a 9. Yeah, right. The same as this, like I pointed out with the owners, it's supposed to be with an apostrophe because it shows possession. Yes. Hang on, is there an it's here?
7.5.
Oh, the other one, right. So there's one more here. Won't, yeah? You will not.
And can't as
Supposed
well
to be,
in the
yeah.
second paragraph. Can't.
Okay.
On the bottom part.
Yes. All right. I think it's won't there and then can't. And then
Doesn't matter.
won't.
Also on the
wouldn't,
second paragraph.
won't.
Third line.
Yes, that's it. Right. So these are, please don't do that. Yeah, does not, cannot, one word. Cannot is not two words. And will not, would not, should not have had, shouldn't have. Yeah, don't write it like that. Shouldn't have, should have not. Unless it's possessive, to show possessions. Okay. So try as much as possible to write in, yeah. All right.
And the
Okay.
7.5 where it consists.
yeah.
Stay there. It's why. I mean, why is that the case? So in the second
Oh
paragraph.
yeah, the question. Yeah, sorry. Right. I think I mentioned this as well. Please don't begin your sentence like this. Yeah, you can, but yeah, you gotta. Is that enough? Well, it's up to you. Right. So I won't recommend you to begin with this like with a question like that. I think it's more appropriate for a persuasive essay, like when you want people to do something non-academically, I guess. Yeah. Is better. Yeah, not in this case. And then this one, was it this one? This one, yeah, but this is
Yeah,
a seven.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth paragraph, a second line. It's fairly difficult.
Oh, this one, yes. Okay. It is better. It is very difficult. I think it's similar to the other one. Yeah, it's about making contractions. That's why it's a band 7.5. Yeah, if it's 9, then you won't see any grammar mistakes. This one is to show possession, so it's okay to say everyone. Oh, sorry, no. It is very difficult to say everyone is swayed by advertising. Supposed to be, yeah, like that. It is so inconsistent, yeah. Maybe up to here, this was paper-based, so probably at this stage, the writer is a bit tired. So just, contractions, right, probably, I don't know. Two main decisions given to them. Is given to them, possibly? Yes. So I guess, yeah, just avoid using contractions, yeah, short forms. Make sure you write and use the formal, proper, accurate, appropriate words, yeah, and grammar. Yeah. Santika has a question, not allowed.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, I can ask you through email, so I have a different access. But I want to ask one question that's probably going to help test takers to understand better that this test is not only we practice on how to write and what to think and all of these things, but I am a firm believer that the method that we use to take the test can have certain effect on our score. So, for example, I actually write it in the Q&A sheet here. Do you think the method of taking this writing task could affect our score? For example, if we are talking about a written exam for IELTS, I have to write all of this essay, for example, and it's taking a long time to write in handwriting. But if we are taking the test using computer, we will have to type everything, and generally it's faster to type than to write, right? So do you think that will affect our score?
About the typing, I think it depends on how you type with how many fingers. Sorry, off topic. See, that's a good example of digressing the topic, yes? Okay, now, yeah, I think if you follow this series since the 2 weeks ago, we've introduced, there are two methods or two types of tests. We have IOP, IELTS on paper, yeah, and IOC, IELTS on computer. The difference is, of course, the medium. Yeah, so first one, obviously you have to write it manually by hand. Some people still prefer to write by hand, which is absolutely fine. It's a matter of preference. But I guess blessing in disguise during the pandemic, everyone has to deal or adapt or adjust to the digital world that is using the computer or laptop almost every day. So I think everyone is now more used to typing instead of writing. It will be a good idea to take the type of test that you're most comfortable with. As Santika said, it does affect your score, okay? Because like imagine if you're not a fast typer, a fast writer, then you have to write 400 words in total at least, yeah. So task 1, task 2, total 400 words, okay. I guess for now we only offer IOC, yeah, Mbak, yeah.
Yeah,
If
we do have we still have IOP, IELTS on paper, but it's I think it's
limited session.
limited session, limited test dates, but it's an option. You can still take it. Meanwhile, if you want to be familiarized with the IOC, we have IELTS familiarization. So you can take it and try to familiarize with the display of the IOC and where to find the next button, back button, or maybe you should know where's the timer or the word count as stated by Grace. So it's just to familiarize yourself. Basically, it's just the same, but you need to find out it before the test date as to make you more relaxed and confident.
2 weeks prior at least. So back to the medium of test, I guess it goes back to you. Choose which one you're most comfortable with. If you prefer to write manually, to write by hand, please take the IOP, IELTS on paper. If you prefer to type, just take the IOC. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
guess.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Grace. Thank you,
Thank you.
Manarita, for the update. So, yeah, just speaking from personal experience, I tried to write by hand and I didn't have enough time, apparently. So, I guess typing works better for me. And it's really important to figure out the method that works best for each person. For me, it's to my advicees. I always say choose the best method that is convenient and comfortable for you so that you can score the best score that you can get for that test. So you don't want to practice in writing, in handwriting, and then you go for the computer based because you'll be like, you're not familiar with that method and vice versa. So that's my point here. Thank you so much, Grace and Manarita. And now we are closing the third part, but we will still have the last part next week.
For the speaking test.
Yes.
So if you want to know some more tips on that, please come back next week, same time, same place, specific place on the 3rd floor. We're going to do some speaking practices, hopefully. Yeah. All right. Masks on, of course. Yeah. All right. Thank you for attending, guys. I hope to see you next week. Now back to James.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our speaker, Grace, and our moderator, Narita, for today's very informative session. It's been great having you with us. Everyone, please give them another round of applause. All right, so please follow our social media at America. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure to give us a follow. And with that wraps this episode. It's been fun, but we have to say goodbye for now. Again, my name is James, and we'll see you at the next Ed America TV event. Goodbye, everyone.